Hi, I'm Annie. What if I'm not an INFJ? Maybe I'm not. You like my Frank James sweatshirt? I bought this for myself for Christmas. I'm getting typed by Objective Personality. I applied on January 1st and I'll get a response on January 17th. I will let you guys know. So if you're not familiar with Objective Personality, then this might not mean anything to you, but Objective Personality is really cool and I'll put a link in the description. You can check it out for yourself. Dave and Shan up in Portland are doing some really exciting research about personality type. You just gotta kind of check it out for yourself to see if you're interested. They're typing much more specifically than just the Myers-Briggs 16 types. And they're also trying to do it very objectively, which cannot be done with the Myers-Briggs test. So check it out, see what you think. I've been aware of personality typing and kind of into it off and on for 20 years or more, maybe. I have no concept of time, but I think I first took the test in my 20s. I took it in my 30s and again in my 40s. I always get INFJ based on the Myers-Briggs questionnaire. That doesn't mean necessarily that I'm an INFJ. I could be seeing myself wrong, answering the questions wrong. And also, human beings are much more complex than just 16 types. So there's more going on. The one thing that I didn't always agree with about the INFJ test result is the FE. I just feel like I'm very FI, not FE. And also, I know for sure I'm self-above tribe. If there's one thing that I can say about myself is that I take care of myself first before I attempt to help other people. And INFJs often have like a martyr complex where they're helping everybody, and then they take care of themselves last. That's not me. I think the only way that I can give back to society is if my needs are met first. That piece of the standard Myers-Briggs INFJ typing never really fit me, although that's the only result that I've ever gotten. Why do I want to be typed? And do I have a guess about what my own type is? I want to be typed by Objective Personality because I'm self-obsessed. I always have been. I think that I'm the most interesting thing. Understanding myself, observing myself correctly, evolving as a person is the most fascinating thing to me. And I am self-obsessed to a fault. You know, it's not a good thing. But I do think that it is good to step outside of yourself and observe yourself as accurately as possible and to try to gain accuracy over time and understand your functions, understand your motivations, and improve. And also try to develop your inferior functions. And just from watching the work of Dave and Shan, I respect their opinion. I want to know what they think. One of the things that I enjoy most about Objective Personality, aside from the typing, is just the agenda that they have to focus on helping people to become more growth-minded, evolve as people, and become better, and develop themselves, and become more integrated. I really appreciate that, and I think that is the most important work that anybody does in their own lives. So, do I have a guess? I've been studying Objective Personality for over 6 months, and I'm thoroughly confused. I don't feel like I'm particularly good at typing, and I really don't participate in the class in that I don't watch the interviews and then guess the type before the class comes out. I just watch the classes, and I think I'm sort of picking up stuff from that, and there are certain things that I can see. I can usually see if someone is self-above tribe or not. I can also see if somebody is looking to the tribe for their validation and their reasons, and in order to make their decisions, if they're considering the tribe, or if they're just considering their own internal reasons and feelings, because that's what I do. When people are looking to the tribe in order to make decisions about themselves, it looks a little weird to me because I have a hard time understanding why anyone would do that or why they would need validation from the tribe. But other than that, I'm pretty confused about the whole typing system. I just don't have a grasp of it, honestly. So I'm going to talk about what I can see in myself, or what I think I can see. I think I'm an observer, and I think I'm an IJ. I would be really surprised if they said I was a decider, because I don't think that's true, but I could be wrong. I think I'm self above tribe. If anyone tried to tell me that I'm tribe above self, I just wouldn't be able to believe that. I see in myself a lot of FI and TI. I see that I'm using intuition and that I'm disrespecting sensory. Okay, so I forgot one other thing. I think that I am sleep, consume, blast, play, and that's just a guess. That feels true to me. I'm careful about revealing my intuition and my abstract thinking, big abstract concepts that I'm thinking about all the time. I'm careful about bringing that up in polite company, because the comment section is always going to demand that that is backed up with sensory details and facts. And I find that so incredibly tedious. So I'm really careful about the concepts that I discuss, like in my videos, because I don't want to back it up with facts and science and details. If you get to know me, if you're my mom or my partner, you will get an earful of abstract concepts all day long. I see that I disrespect sensory in a lot of ways in my life. I have developed SI in my adult life, really in my late 30s. And that's just because life was really kicking my ass, you know? I run a small business. You need a little bit of SI in order to do that. So I have developed that. I hear a lot of NF hippie talk when I'm speaking. Well, in my head. It comes out a bit in my videos and when I'm talking to people, but that's another one that I kind of try to tone down because it's not always accepted in polite conversation. People want you to back up this NF hippie talk with sensory details and facts and figures, and I don't want to do that. And also in my massage therapy practice, I might have some kind of hippie woo-woo ideas that I can't back up that I'm not super open with my clients about. You know, if I feel like there's something kind of going on energetically with massage and the, you know, physical exchange between two people, that there's something energetic happening that maybe isn't like sensory quantifiable, I don't always bring it up. In my massage therapy practice, I wear scrubs. I'm, you know, very reserved. I don't look like the typical hippie massage therapist that has a crystal around their neck and, you know, go with the flow, flighty. That's not me. I kind of strive to project a sort of reserved, neutral image for myself. Part of that is not talking about these NF way out there concepts with my clients unless they are inclined that way and the discussion just kind of evolves and, you know, you got to read the room. So sometimes I do it if it feels right with the right client. So I think the result that would surprise me the most from Dave and Shan is if they said I was lead sensory. And in fact, somebody who had the private link to my interview that I sent to Dave and Shan said they thought that I was lead sensory. And that was something that never occurred to me. I would never imagine that I would be a lead sensor. That's a hard one for me to believe. So in the Objective Personality Facebook group, I posted the private link to the video. It's about 57 minutes long and it's just me talking about my day and my life and what I'm into. And somebody asked if they could guess my type and I said, yeah, go ahead. And she guessed lead sensor. And that just is the last thing that would ever occur to me because I feel like I disrespect sensory all the time. And that doesn't mean that she's wrong. She could be right because a lot of times you just can't see or save your function. It's something that you're doing all the time, but you can't see that you're doing it. And that could be true for me too. I don't know. I feel like the majority of the time I'm thinking about abstract concepts and I'm thinking about the big picture, even though I'm cautious about sharing abstract ideas because I don't want to deal with having to back it up with sensory. Not only do I disrespect sensory, I feel like other people revere it as a god too much. I feel like people are worshiping sensory facts and science as a god. For most of polite society, sensory facts are the end of the discussion. But there's a big flaw there. We don't know how reality works. We don't know what consciousness is or how it works. Perception is flawed. We don't know that we are perceiving correctly. We're perceiving a narrow band of reality. We're not even perceiving all of it. Yet this precious science that is worshipped as a god is based on observable facts, what we are observing. We don't know if we're observing correctly. I feel like possibly reality isn't as real as people believe that it is. And that's just a feeling. I can't prove it. So don't ask me to. It's a consensus reality. We've all agreed that this is what we're observing and that we're going to make our decisions based on what we're observing, but we take for granted that we're observing correctly. We probably aren't. And we're doing the best we can. We should try to understand the world based on what we can see. That's what we should do. But we should also remember that we probably aren't seeing the whole thing. And that we're not always right, and we're likely not right. 100 years from now, we're not going to be right. We're going to have more of the picture. There's just so much missing information. We shouldn't be self-righteous about science. We shouldn't worship what we think we know right now in 2020 as the end. And I think that some people do when they use that in arguments. They're trying to use science in arguments in a way that is not responsible, because they're ignoring this fact that it's based on observation, and observation is fallible. And I don't bring this up with people very often in a public way because it gets them really riled up. And they start demanding that I back it up with sensory, and that's like exactly what I'm saying, that maybe sensory is not as definitive as people want it to be. It would be nice if it was, makes you feel safer, right? If reality is real and you can quantify it and point to it and prove your facts. But I just think it's way less absolute than that. I also don't bring it up because people are just going to think I'm stupid. You could be watching this right now just thinking oh my God, this girl is so dumb. I mean, what I'm saying right now, it's not academic. And if you're really sciencey and really logical, then it's just going to frustrate you. You're going to think oh my God, this girl. And my partner is aware that I have this idea in my head, and I have had this idea for a long time. It's something that we talked about when we first met. It comes up from time to time, and I brought it up again somewhat recently. He said, not this bullshit again. Because for him, this is just exasperating. He doesn't want to talk about this. When he hears me talking about it, it's almost like he's disappointed in me because I don't revere science in the same way that he does. And I think it also makes him a little panicky, like I'm trying to pull reality out from under him. And he says stuff like, oh, so I guess nothing matters. I guess we shouldn't try to fix the world. None of it matters because it's all an illusion. That's not what I'm saying at all. I don't believe that. Even if it's an illusion or a simulation, meaning still matters. And I'm just so much more interested in meaning than I am in facts. So if reality is an illusion, should we just go ahead and pollute the oceans because it doesn't matter, because it's all an illusion? No, because trash and pollution, even if it's an illusion, it has a meaning to it. It has a feeling and a connotation. And that meaning is disrespect. It means carelessness. It means harm. It means hatred. Pollution is hatred. And it has a consequence, even if the consequence is illusory. Within this illusory world, trash in the ocean has a consequence, and that consequence has meaning and connotation. The result is disrespect, sadness, disharmony. So even if it's all an illusion, we should still make our decisions based on values and meaning. You see what I'm saying? Probably not. I'm just basically a nut job. So, I don't know. I'm curious to see what type I am, and I'll let you guys know as soon as I find out. Because, maybe I'm an ISTJ, or I have no idea. Who knows? I'll keep you posted.